All righty.
All righty. Hey, you just got it through, dude. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Everybody, welcome to the Patient Pod. This is episode number 15. Dr. Brad Egan here with my homie, Dr. Caleb Bryant.
Yeah.
And we're fired up for another episode of the Patient Pod. I am going to start off the intro today. We've spoke before in previous episodes about anticipation for the next year. And as we approach the end of the 2023 season, as I like to call it, we're late in the fourth quarter. And as time approaches with the holidays and all the madness that's about to be bestowed upon us, it's very important that we keep our health, our mindset in consideration to prepare for an awesome start to 2024. So we got some data here. Basically, as we were doing some research, we came across an article from, I believe it was December 13th of 2022.
So not too far from now.
No, almost a year.
Yep, absolutely.
And basically, the article talks about what to prepare for. What are the trends that are going to prepare you for success? So, Dr. Bryant, I'll let you take some of these away. We've talked a little bit about them. A lot of them we've already talked about in this podcast. So we're pretty fired up to get some of these going. But yeah, let's go over a couple of these, man, because it's important for our peeps to know what's going on.
Yeah. So the first one that we're going to talk about is fitness. So fitness, obviously a big one every year, and probably one of the most common New Year's resolutions is that they want to improve their fitness. They want to lose some weight, whatever that is. So with us going into this next year, and this is like Dr. Egan was talking about, this is an article from last year. So with him, what am I going? So the same thing stays true even now. Fitness is huge. It's going to be huge from this year and even in 2030. So the biggest things that we have to remember as we go into this next year with fitness is do what you can do. So if you haven't already started working out yet, if you haven't done anything, just start doing what you can do. And I think one of the biggest things is just start walking a little bit.
Well, and a lot of it, if you really think of a mindset of an individual looking to make that change, they don't know where to start.
Yep.
And so I'm a big believer in kind of a mental picture of what you're striving for. But fitness can come in many varieties, really. Mind fitness, mental toughness, resiliency, all of those things. But yeah, motion is life. We preach that in the office. Physical fitness is really, if you think of the lifespan of a human being, I mean, you're going to battle every day. So the most fit, the most prepared, you're just setting yourself up for success. And that has to be number one as far as mobility and overall body health.
Yeah, well, and I think like so many people struggle with, like you're saying, where do we get started? Because I think we have this idea of I want to go from A to Z, and that Z is so far away. And what happens to most of us is that we get bogged down right there at the start. It's hard to get out of the gate. We might go pick us up some new gear to go work out in, a new bag to put all our stuff in, feeling good, got some new shoes. But then once it actually gets to the point of working out, it starts getting a little bit more complicated. Am I doing the right things? Is somebody watching me at the gym? Am I doing enough? I don't feel like I'm getting somewhere. So those are all questions that while you're starting to get ready for, your fitness journey, start thinking about those things and start realizing that some of those are going to be obstacles, but that's okay.
Well, and you nailed it when you say journey, because and I tell, I grew up going to the gym. In fact, I got my own home set up now because I almost get anxiety when I go into a gym and can't kind of get things done how I need to get done. But if you really look at it as you're not training always for a marathon or a competition, you're training for life. So, you don't want to go 0 to 100 right away because you're going to get injured or burn out. And then it's just going to lead to basically a failure of that endeavor to get yourself fit. So in reality, make a clear mental picture of what you're striving for and understand that this is a process. And so finding a coach, finding a trainer who can evaluate you and be there to monitor you to get that foundation. And yeah, yoga, you can do so much stuff at home to build the stability. And as a personal trainer, before my chiropractic journey, I can tell you everything starts with the core. So you can do crunches, planks, yoga at home. And regardless of what your goals are, that should be the start to any fitness journey.
Absolutely. And you just kind of mentioned about the mental part of it, and just so happened that's the second one on this
Mm.
list. Mental health is a huge trend. And I'll kind of let you take that away. We've had tons of episodes on this, so we're really passionate about this.
Mental health is something now that we have created awareness about,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no shame in your faults in mental health. If you're in a bad space, that's okay. But evaluating your mental health is really should be at number one, because that evaluates, what is your why, what gets you up in the morning, and if you can't answer that question, it's fine. But we need to start digging a little deeper on why we're on this planet. What is your goal in this life? But that gets bogged down with emotions and traumas and stress. So finding a good therapist, somebody that you can talk to and help navigate through your healing journey, because like we've talked to before, that emotional stress, if it's not taken care of, it'll hide out somewhere in the body and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't go away.
Well, and really, with with all this whole list that we're going to go through, with all these different trends and of 2022, and things that you still need and things that you still need to focus on, all these will fall apart if you really don't have your mental health where it should be.
If you really think about thinking,
Nope. Ooh.
oh, it's the most important thing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And retraining your brain is a big muscle. So retraining how it thinks. So if you start to go down a negative route, how to correct it, self-regulate and understand that you're going to have your ups and downs. But if you can really trend to the more positive approach towards life, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to be easy. The world's not all sunshine and rainbows. But you got to be accountable for your own mental health, because that affects your family, your friends, your job, everything, man.
Yep, absolutely. All right, next one is nutrition. What are we eating?
Ooh,
That's a tough one.
you
I
know,
know I struggle with this a lot. This is something that is a big thing for me, um, trying to figure out my nutrition and what leads me to eat some of the things that I do, and make some of the habits that I make.
well, and it's so easy, from Halloween on. I mean, it's there in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were talking about this earlier. So we've been in practice close to 10 years, and I didn't, ever add it all up before, but it's every year, a week or two after Halloween, colds and sickness all arise. And it all usually starts with kids. And we can break this down a little more, but overall, if you think about your gut, and we're starting to know now with research and understanding that your gut bacteria has a direct effect on your immune response to
Mm-hmm.
viruses, colds, so on and so forth. And what do we do at Halloween time? I mean, kids are down in sugar, and you know what? Uh, Nothing will ever take me away from a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, and when we talk about this, we are not
Mm,
we're not telling you to take the candy away from your kid.
yeah, and it's moderation,
Yeah.
and it's also doing some research on some good probiotics, because what's happening is all that sugar invasion to the gut causes the basically gut bacteria to break down, which
Mm-hmm.
then is decreasing their immune response to colds and viruses and sicknesses going around in schools, daycares, and it is that spreads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're seeing so much of it in the last 3 weeks, and we got to understand that a majority of our immune health starts with the gut.
Yep.
So good probiotics. 80-20 rule is what I like to follow, man. 80% of my diet, I'm going to try my best to eat healthy, drink plenty of water. Then there's going to be about a 20% that I'm going to do what I
Whatever you
want to
want.
do.
Yeah, and I think that I abide probably more on the 50-50, and that is something that I'm definitely trying to work on, because I feel like, and so, like, even when you go back to like mental health and how you eat and what you do,
Mm.
a lot of it goes towards that. So in my brain, I know a lot of I know the things I'm supposed to do, but sometimes I struggle with actually making the decision in the moment.
And it sometimes it takes that 20 minutes after you eat whatever it was that wasn't so good for you to realize, oof. And how many times do you eat something like that where you mentally feel a little boggy?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Well, and I'm a
Negative
little bit
Nathan.
gluten intolerant too, so
Ooh.
it definitely hits me. But one of the biggest things you can do, when it comes to nutrition and eating, first start off by smaller portions.
Mhm.
We as Americans, it goes all the way back to the biggie sizing, and even, well, I don't know. Back in the day, they were eating better portions. So a lot of it did start with the fast foods, and hey, you want to biggie size that? We'll give you, a full water jug of Dr. Pepper and a bucket of fries. So we started getting conditioned that that's what we need to do, especially as kids, and then it keeps kind of going on. So be careful with how much you're eating.
Mm.
An easy way to start eating better is starting to decrease the portions, and also one that's big for me that helps me out quite a bit. When you get done eating, wait about 15 minutes
Mm.
before you go back and do that second, third, fourth helping, because you would be very surprised that once you wait, you're really not all that hungry anymore.
Oh, and and remember in neuroanatomy and physiology, the area of your brain that is saying I'm hungry
Ghrelin.
is the same area that's telling you that you're thirsty. So probably the
Oh,
best
okay.
thing to do would be to drink about 20 ounces of warm water. Some think that's a little weird, but my philosophy is if it's cold, you're going to constrict. So inside your gut. So obviously your internal temperatures stays regulated, but drink, warm water, maybe some lemon water, pound that, hyperhydrate it, and give yourself, like you said, 10 minutes. And almost majority of the time, you're not going to be hungry after, or reach for that snack that maybe not be the most beneficial for you. And if you do want a snack, some raw almonds, some good healthy fats, avocados are great, berries are awesome. And what you'll notice too is, and you start doing stuff like that and you feel better mentally, physically, you start craving more of those foods.
Mm-hmm.
I learned this from juicing. Talk about our boy Nikki B. He got me into
Shout out.
juicing those vegetables and beets. I started craving beets, man, and it tastes like dirt when you're
Yeah.
juicing them things, but you feel good. You can notice a difference in your body, and then over time, man, I don't mind eating some beets, pickled beets, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely tastes like you have a spoonful of dirt coming right into your
But
mouth.
man, it's coming from the dirt,
It's
boy.
coming
That's
right
going
from
right to the nutrients. That's what we
the,
want.
the earth coming into your body.
Mm. Yeah, man. I grew up an Iowa boy, so meat and potatoes on the table, full plate, and you clean it,
You
man.
clean it
You
and then you go
clean that
back
plate.
again.
Corn fed.
All right, next one, sleep.
Sleep. Oh, I can't say anything here, man. This is the biggest area that I struggle with, and
Yeah.
it's a bad habit. We grind through the day. I try to get up at 5:30, but it's that 9 to 11:30.
At night,
Yeah, that's
it's when
just
you
that
can't shut it
lull.
down.
That's my weak point. If I could just establish maybe 30 minutes of preparation, a little better than what I already do, I know I would be better off. But man, it's just and it's really not like Netflix or anything like that. Nah.
You just like moseying around the house. You just
Well,
like
you live with me,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
how I
You
am.
just walking around the house.
It's just, well, I mean, I'm cleaning the house, or I'm just trying to, write down some goals, or just, stroll through some sports, or hang out with my boy Cairo.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's probably a little better for me than the nutrition part. I do pretty good at sleep, but sleep's kind of in my DNA. I mean, I can sleep. I could literally, if you give me about 5 minutes on this camera with these lights on me, I could probably go to sleep. So I generally do fairly well with the sleep. Now, I didn't always do well. I used to really, rev it. I'd rev it hot at the end, where they say burning the candle at both ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rev it hot at the end, and then I'd get back up. But I just noticed that my focus and my productivity with anything, and I'm not just saying business, whatever it was, it just got worse as time went on. So I learned that setting things down for the night, you're actually going to set yourself up a whole lot better for the next day. I think that, especially when we were, and this has always been a thing, but grinding and getting things done, and you got to go. I I don't really believe in that as much as I once did, because getting good sleep is a whole lot better for your health and then your longevity as well.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, man. There was definitely a time where you had more of that energy. And it's important to, there was probably 5 or 6 years there where it was straight grind.
Hmm.
But then you do hit a wall.
Yeah,
And we
big one.
both have hit it at points in our career, and you kind of live and learn from that. And you're right. And that's something that it's vitally important. So, what do you do to shut it down? Because, I mean, we used to live together, and we didn't shut it down till later on. But do
No,
you have like a 30 to 40 minute window? Because I know since you've been a married man, I reach out to you at 8:30, and you got
it's
that
about
thing
over.
on. You got that thing on silent or whatever that
Yeah,
is,
yeah. Does it say that I have?
quiet mode. It
Does
says
it say
something.
quiet mode?
It's basically like leave me alone. I'm sleeping. I'll hit you up
See, I
tomorrow.
didn't know that it did that.
I think it's cool because
Yeah,
it's like here's why I'm not replying. Nothing but love for you, but
but we'll see
Caleb's
it.
sleeping.
We're sleeping. No, so what I do is I do my best not to get on my phone past probably, I don't know, probably 7:30, 7:45.
Mm,
And me and my wife Chelsea, we both do that. And we'll even we'll even like, because we're just like anybody else, man. We sit there and then boom, here we are. We're looking at it. And so we'll even kind of get on to each other about, hey, what are we doing? We're not being really present with each other and watching, because usually we like to watch a show. So, and a lot of people might go, well, what's the damn difference between the show or the phone? Well, to me, it is kind of a difference, because I think on the phone you're looking at more news or things like that, whereas we'll just watch something positive on TV and just kind of wind the night down.
mhm.
And then what I started doing more of, so a not being on the phone late at night, and then B, getting in bed and really starting to wind it down.
Mm,
I think that's a big one. When you keep kind of moving around, or you start a new show, or whatever it is, you just can't wind down. Oh, this is a big one. I about forgot it. I stopped taking work home. I don't.
oh,
I don't. I don't hardly think about any of it. Well, and obviously you think about, sometimes, but
mhm.
I used to go home and obsess about work, what I want to do, ambitions, all these different things. And I really just don't do that anymore. I don't
Mm.
really think about it. It's just kind of over once I get home.
Yeah, and I remember that feeling too, especially starting out Aiken Chiropractic here, and just those first couple years, I pretty much lived here,
Hmm.
and it kind of consumes you a little bit, and then you realize that there's life outside of being a chiropractor,
Yeah.
and that's one thing I've really tried to do these last 4 years, especially, is take time away, go find things and do things that you like to do. But yeah, I think it's so important to have that off switch where you shut off, you're present with your family, clock in, clock out mentally, and it's so important to have that balance. And that's something that I continuously work on, is to have a good, healthy work life balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is when you can have a good, so for people out there that are very ambitious and they want to achieve in their goals and things like that, when you can have a better work life balance, it actually contributes a whole lot better for you to do better in, in both sides. And I can say that from firsthand experience.
Hmm.
I did the whole just one deal, but when you're doing just all in on, I'm going to read these books, I'm going to be productive and succeed, you're leaving out a big part of your life. And then later on, what ends up happening is this just starts to weigh on you, because you're just not balanced out.
Hmm.
You're not what you're supposed to be, unless you're like, who's Elon Musk, and some of them, they just,
Well, and I think a lot of those uber successful individuals learn how to work smart
yeah.
and not as hard. And I mean, they're working their butt off every day, I'm sure, but overall, just having systems put into place, having resources and other people to help, But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So we talked about physical health, so we don't really need to go over that again. But the next one's appearance, which is kind of tied into that.
Yeah.
We've spoken about that before. I mean,
I don't necessarily like going into that too much because I feel like if you start talking about appearance, oh, you need to worry about that. I don't think you're being very what is the word that I'm looking for? I mean, you got to love yourself for who you are. So if you're constantly worried about your appearance, it is good to worry about your appearance in a health stance, but to just worry about your appearance just because maybe you don't look as good as somebody you saw on Instagram, that's BS.
yeah, that's just artificial.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and as far as appearance goes, I mean, if you feel good, and you go to the gym and you take care of yourself, you eat healthy, a lot of that just kind of balances out.
Yeah.
And then, you see it all the time with young weightlifters or anybody that starts going to the gym and they get into that belief system, they get confidence. And so
Mm-hmm.
they feel good. I mean, ultimately, we're in search of a feeling, right? So we want to feel better about ourselves, our appearance, and how we're progressing through life. But in reality, if you do the things like eat healthy, you sleep good. Because I mean, how many times you see me with bags under my eyes rolling in here?
Yeah, me
Just
too. But
sleep does not do you any good for appearance if you're not getting good sleep.
yeah.
So ultimately, we want a good feeling of health. We want to feel healthy.
Hmm.
All that other external noise can go to the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, we're all unique in our own ways,
Heck yeah, man.
and I compare and go back and listen to comparing yourself to others. It's not a great thing. Tie another episode in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're you. Enjoy what you're given. And what we really want to hammer home is that after going through this list here, we realize that even though it was almost a year ago, this is all relevant and it's timeless. Year after year, these are the things that we should be worried about: our mental health, our physical health, what we're putting into our bodies, how much sleep we're getting. And really, if we can just make that list short and keep it short and sweet, be
Hmm.
consistent at it. I mean, again, this is timeless. Your health will change over time, and then you're going to have more motivation. But again, this is late in the fourth quarter. This next month and a half is going to fly for everyone.
Hmm.
And it's important to kind of maybe write out a little list, have a mental picture of what your goals are. Don't just go into it, free flinging and hoping that it works out well. Because as we've talked about before, those will never work out positively. And man, it's just another journey around the sun, brother.
Yep, a little at a time. A little at a time.
A
It
little at a
really
time.
you really will get there at some point if you just take it a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. All right. So that wraps up episode number 15. And
Yeah.
we're adding this segment to the
Oh
patient pod.
yes,
So
yes.
for those of you that don't know, Dr. Bryant and I did go to chiropractic school together. We used to roam the halls and talk about someday running a practice.
Here we are.
But we also lived together for about 4 years.
Yes, we
So
did.
we each got a story about each other. We keep it real.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
I was notified of this segment not too long ago, so I didn't think about it too much. But I guess I have to say that my story for Dr. Agan here is the one that I probably get him every day. Is when Dr. Agan uh, decides that he's about to leave the house. You can about guarantee that he's going to come back in at least 2 to 5 times because he's gonna have it all ready to go. He's gonna go out there, car started, everything's ready to go, but then he's gonna come right back on in, and he got to find something else. I said, well, and I always asked him back when we were roommates. I said, "Well, did you forget something?" Oh man, I gotta get something. I gotta get something else. So
oh,
yes,
that's
that is
great, dude.
a great memory of living together with Dr. Egan.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of that problem still exists. It's a little OCD.
I think we both got that,
Oh
but I
man, it's
will,
tough.
I will put you worse on the spectrum.
Well, it's the little things, I think back when we had old Freezy that lived with us, Kitty Cat Freeze, and now I
Yeah,
got Cairo, and I always just worry about the little things. Did the gasket left on? Is the water on? Is that candle that I lit last night still going? I mean, it's all running through my head. Something I still work on with like a verbal checklist when I'm walking out the house.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd say off the top of my head, uh, it was that old Cox flexion distraction table that you're like, hey man, you want to help me move this table?
Hey, no big deal, man.
No big deal. It'll just take a little bit. And man,
Yeah.
this thing was a freaking dinosaur, dude. Nowhere to grab it. We went and picked it up from Logan and moved it to our rental house we were in. And I remember dragging that thing and then was sitting it down the grass and it was sinking. There was nowhere to grab it. This table, I mean, for those of you who don't know, the flexion distraction tables are the one that kind of like expand out to stretch out the lower back. But this thing was like a 1972 model.
Yeah,
baby blue.
Yeah, it was it was a tank.
Oh my goodness, dude!
And we had it on it. Did we have it on a dolly?
We had it on a dolly until we got in the grass and it started sinking in the grass.
And it wasn't even wet either. Like, but it was sinking it, dude.
We had
it was
to manhandle that thing. We didn't. That was moving it out.
That was moving it out. When we moved it in, we took it straight in, and we set it down
in the garage
in the basement.
So where in the basement was it?
It was somewhere in the basement. It was in the basement, and then because we drug it out, because if it's in the garage, we wouldn't have taken it back out of the grass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was horrible. So yeah, we got a couple more stories ahead, but that's one that, hey, no big deal. Just
no big deal. I think I had 2 other tables too.
Yeah, those weren't as bad. But yeah, that was one of those memories. So, but yeah, and to wrap it up, episode number 15, we always recap our favorite athletes that wore number 15 or that wear number 15. I will let you go first.
My athlete is the greatest Gator, Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow, what a legend, dude!
Legend. I hated that he didn't make it in the NFL a little bit more.
And I don't even see why. He won games, even though he's in the AFC West. He still won games.
They said he threw funny.
Dude, he won. He's a winner. He wins games. And I feel bad for the guy, but he's still doing great things, man.
He's big.
The same Tim Tebow. So nothing but respect for him. But yeah, Patty Mahomes.
Oh, Patty.
He will be. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Chiefs fan. Look at the numbers. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Well, Taylor Swift made him popular, right?
No. No.
Good thing the Chiefs got Taylor Swift because we didn't even know who all those guys were without Taylor Swift. Yeah,
we got 2 rings without T Swift.
No,
she just added to the party.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Pat Mahomes, number 15. So yeah, throw out your number 15 favorites, and we like to just have a little fun with it. But thank you all that joined us. You know, we're on our way to getting better and better. We know you guys are bearing through these growing pains with us and watching us mature over our podcasting journey. So we thank you for the love. Find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube is our big hitter. And check us out, man. We got more to come.
Give us some reviews. Subscribe to us as well. It really helps us out.
Some love. We got a lot more to come, and we're just very grateful for the love and support. So thank you all. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Well, I guess it is Tuesday, but they'll be getting this. Yeah, technically,
they'll be getting this on Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, we're dropping a new episode.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving. This is the Thanksgiving episode.
All
right. Well, real quick, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Thanksgiving food is going to be turkey and dressing.
Oh yeah,
but which I never understood. Like they call it turkey and dressing, which makes you feel like it's going to be like turkey with dressing on top of it. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like it's like bread clumped up with turkey and all. Does that make sense? Like a casserole.
Yeah, I think that's.
Or up here we call it stuffing.
Yeah, the stuffings,
but we call it turkey and dressing down there.
Oh, down south.
down there south. It's some turkey and dressing.
Oh, okay, yeah, I love me some dressing, man.
Yeah. Well, what's yours? Are you a cranberry guy?
I like cranberries, but I'm not feeling it really on Christmas. No, I mean it's the turkey. Uncle Butch used to make a pretty fire brisket back in the day.
Oh, y'all did briskets for
just add a little to the mix. It was mainly turkey, but you had a little brisket and ham and mama's cheesy taters, man.
Oh,
those are my favorite.
My mom makes really good green beans.
Oh, never underestimate some Thanksgiving green beans.
Yeah, well, and down south, there's a lot of butter. There's a lot of extra things that go into to everything down there. So everything's pretty fluffed up.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. All right. Everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving. We thank you again for joining us here on the Patient Pod. Join us next time for episode 16. More to come.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
16. Be thinking.
All right.
All right. Take care, everyone.
See
Thank
ya.
you.